Warriors, rise. They are letting us know by predictive programming the next Black Swan event. As you look this way at another narrative, there's a whole nother narrative going on this way. And I'm going to break that down for you today. My name is Coach JV. I am the top health, mindset, and crypto coach in the world. Remember, what you believe in your heart, you think in your mind, will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. So everything you're experiencing within this physical reality right now has been predictive programming up until this point. They're all locked arm in arm behind the scenes, moving us into a new quantum financial system. Now, if this seems confusing to you and you're coming here to get free information, I have thousands of videos and free information. My TikTok, my Instagram, which is Coach JV _, podcast, Coach JV, thousands of free information. But if you want to go a little bit deeper and be surrounded by a community with over 130 cryptocurrencies, 7 courses, 7 calls per week, and the support system you need to take advantage of the biggest shift in human history, click this link down below and in the description, or go to www.3twarrior.com to learn about our Warrior Academy. All right, so let's kick it off, Warriors. So this narrative is thick. It's really, really thick. And first of all, I want to start out by saying, if nobody's told you today, I truly love you. So all 79,700 of you, I love you. Okay, appreciate you. So I just wanted to say that and just get your heart warmed up. All right, so let's kick this off, Warriors. So first, we're going to watch a video. Okay, so I'm going to take you through. I like to take you through history up to current because I want to show you how they predicted program this. Now, remember, in 2018, 2019, I think it was 2019, they raised the debt ceiling, right? All of a sudden in 2019, they raised the debt ceiling. Also in 2019, there was a practice for a pandemic at the World Economic Forum. And then by March 2020, we were deep in a pandemic and our lives have changed in the last 24 months. Reminder, in the last 24 months, we printed more money than in history. Cryptocurrencies have been at the forefront now. Key. More money printed than in history. So why would they do that? Because the people who are already set up in the new quantum financial system printed all this old money, this old paradigm money, so they can move it into the quantum financial system. It was like a money bank. It was like just print. They raised the debt ceiling so they could borrow, so they could continue the cycle. And then as soon as they pull the plug, they're going to be already set up in the quantum financial system. And then you're going to have to move over because you have no choice, because we have chosen to be in this monetary system. We have chosen. Nobody has taken to the time to rise high enough to get enough money to change the narrative. That's the only option you have, or you may as well die trying. So let's kick it off. Okay, so we're going to watch this video from CNBC, and this is on, what is this one on? This is on September 13th, 2018. So let's watch this video from CNBC. Okay, and then after we watch the video from CNBC, we're going to watch a video from Klaus Schwab. Okay, this was during the pandemic. He started talking about the new pandemic. Okay, and then we're going to break down some very detailed documents. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that they're moving you into a new monetary system. And unfortunately, war is the narrative to do it. I'm sorry, but that's just what it is. You don't have to trust a word I say. Just trust the feeling and vibration it creates in your body and act accordingly. So let's watch this first video and then we'll go on from there.
Need to be worried about it. I could certainly say at Schwab, we take this very seriously in terms of what we're doing inside our own organization and with our systems, as I'm sure every other financial institution is. But I think I have no greater ability than anybody else to speculate on if it happens and when and how big it is. But I think there's a couple of factors to consider. To the point made by the guest this morning, whose soundbite we just heard, it does represent potentially something systemic that really kind of moves into the entire global financial system. But maybe just as important would be what...
That was important. Something systemic that moves into the whole global financial system.
What it would do to psychology. And if you think back to 2008, yes, there were plenty of fundamental and bubble bursting reasons why we had the carnage that we did, why the market went down as much as it did, why the recession was as ugly as it was. But a lot of it was pure fear on the part of businesses and consumers and investors. And that can feed on itself too. And versus something, say, like a natural disaster that isn't necessarily going to instill that pervasive fear, right. I think a cyber attack would.
You know, Michael, to some degree, we all get lulled into...
She said something so important. Did you hear what she said? How do you move people? Through fear, through war. Unfortunately, through love, people just don't move as quickly. A cyber attack will instill fear to move you into new financials, but there's nothing to fear, warriors. If you're set up correctly, it's all by design.
To a false sense of security about all of this, because there are plenty of security services out there that are designed, or their mission is to prevent this from happening, but then it happens. So, are we really that safe from that kind of an attack?
No, Bill, but we never really are, and we haven't been for the past few years. When I think back to 2007, we were talking about subprime, and we were saying, all right, we understand how subprime could be a threat. We didn't know that the banks were levered 40 to 1. Most of us didn't know. We didn't know that there were $2 billion, $3 billion of off-balance sheet SIVs. I didn't know what a SIV was, Bill, until all of a sudden you're sitting at your desk in the fall with the market dropping and overnight funds not trading, trying to say, now, what is it? And what did it just do? And how? So my point here is, I actually think the earlier guest was a bit of an optimist by saying that this is the one remaining threat. It's not the one. We've got North Korea, we've got Iran, we've got a nuke that could go, and cybersecurity is big. But we have to, I think, look at the fundamentals underlying the economy and where we are. And, it's been a long time since we had a recession. Something rather unexpected over the next few years will likely trigger another one. Investors shouldn't be surprised, but we will be.
Yeah.
But going back to the element of
Warriors, they literally tell you what's going on. I'm leaning towards the microphone here. He's like, we're heading into recession 2018. They're literally guide you along on how to invest and what to do and how to stay calm and what's going to happen if you just do the opposite. I have lived my life opposite for the last 4 years, the way I do my finances, the way I get into relationships, everything I do opposite of worldly things, and I am living heaven on earth right now. Warriors, I'm so wealthy internally. It doesn't matter about the physical wealth, warriors. That's what I'm working to teach people in the academy. When you're wealthy here and you're wealthy here, you need nothing in the physical world and you become an attraction magnet. It's wild. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox. All right, so let's jump right into this. So now that was in 2018, and this was in 2020. Want to give credit to IceAgeFarmer.com. This is his YouTube video, so I want to make sure if you want to see this video, just go to YouTube and look up IceAgeFarmer.com. And this is what Klaus Schwab said during one of the biggest shifts in our life, which was the pandemic.
We all know, but still pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack. To use the COVID-19 crisis as a timely opportunity to reflect on the lessons the cybersecurity community can draw and improve our preparedness for a potential cyber pandemic.
Wow. Wow. Let's use C word to lock everybody down and get you ready for the biggest cyber attack in human history. Well, would have to be the biggest, right? They didn't have them in caveman days. But anyways, okay, so let's dive into some actual facts, figures, numbers, logic. These are just talking heads out there talking for the whoever's whatever running this. Okay, so this is a congressional research service informing legislative debate since 1914, international financial messaging system. Okay, so this was July 19th, 2021. So I want to show you this. We're going to go to page 10 here. Okay. And I want to show you the narrative that's happening right now. Now, I've been telling you guys this, and how do I know this stuff? I was in banking for 12 years. I went to CBA Executive Banking School. When I was in CBA Executive Banking School, you can look it up. It teaches you how to scale banks, and you can run a whole bank afterwards. You know how to run a bank. Banks are being squeezed. The banking system and the way they operate is going to be completely different. They can't operate this way anymore, warriors. That's why they printed the money, not the banks. That's why the Federal Reserve printed the money, because the Federal Reserve, whoever controls the money, controls the politics, right? So they pump the money into the politicians. They pump the money into the top people at the top, and they're taking that money and they're investing in the new infrastructure. As soon as the new infrastructure is set, which it's almost set, they're going to hit the switch with a cyber attack, and they're going to move us all into the new financial system, which is going to be the hero. And they're already set as all the sheep come into the gates. It's just how it always works. This is nothing new under the sun. It's nothing to worry about. Take a deep breath. You have the tools now. That's why they're distracting the shit out of you. They know you have goofballs like me that are spending 8 to 9 hours a day researching and coming up with this information, and they call us the crazy ones. It's okay. That's why I say don't trust a word I say. I'm some goofy ass dude wearing a beanie with a running around going to Peru and traveling the world and being free. Why would you listen to me? I don't know. But anyway, so let's jump. Dude, I'm on one today, man. I should go to Peru more often. Okay, so let's jump into this. Okay, so this is pretty cool. So this is reported Swift related cyber attack. So January 15th, hackers transferred 12. So Swift has been attacked a lot. And so the narrative is that Swift is not safe, right? You can't use Swift, the original Swift system, in the new Web 3.0 banking system. You can't. So January 15th, hackers transferred 12 million from Ecuador bank Banco del Estrella to multiple companies registered in Hong Kong. May 15th, Vietnam-based Phong Bank announced hackers initiated Swift transfers of 1 million. February 16th, hackers suspected to affiliated with North Korea. July 16th, hackers initiated transaction 100 million from Nigerian bank accounts to Asia. Man, Asia's freaking crushing it with the cyber attacks. July 2016, multi-fraudulent Swift transactions totaling 170 million were initiated from Union Bank of India, but the money was recovered within 3 days. October 17th, hackers planted malware in Far Eastern International Bank to gain access to Swift terminal. January 2018, Mexican state-owned bank, Banco Nomex, 110 million fraudulent Swift transaction. February 18th, almost 2 million worth of transactions. Whoa, my freaking light on. Dude, there's somebody in the room with me. That's weird. Creepy. March 8th. They're coming after me. Just kidding. March 2018, attackers attempt. Oh my gosh. Attackers attempt to use fraudulent Swift transactions, 390 million. Okay. So this shows you how much Swift has been hacked. I mean, it's a very flawed system. Okay. So changing the landscape for cross-border payments and financial messaging. Although Swift has functioned as a dominant financial messaging system provider for decades, the landscape of cross-border payments infrastructure has evolved in the recent years. The private sector has been developing new payment systems primarily by using blockchain technology to create more efficient and faster payments and bypass Swift system entirely. What's the narrative right now? Taking Russia off the Swift system. Okay. Supposedly China, it was China, India, I think if I'm getting this correct, and Russia, we're going to work together with their own financial system. Okay. Many central banks are exploring launching their own digital currencies. Blockchain, this is in their document, a range of private sector companies. Ripple, a California-based fintech company, for example, operating a blockchain. They just mentioned Ripple in here, which is crazy, right? Blockchain-based payments network called RippleNet Ripple claims hundreds of financial transactions in over 55 countries and are connected to networks and network facilities for cross-border payments, faster, cheaper legacy systems. Its network offers both financial messaging and clearing and settlement. RippleNet's messaging system uses decentralized networks so that all users are the one platform, allowing bi-directional messaging and higher transparency. This allows the end user to track payments movements while decreasing the cost time for settlement. Ripple's market share in the cross-border payments market is unclear, but it has stated that its network processes almost 3 million transactions in 2020, nearly 5 times the amount in 2019. Another new payment system networks using blockchain technology, JP Morgan. Okay, in 2017, JP Morgan, when they told you not to get into cryptocurrency, created their own JPM coin. They have their own interlock system, their own DLT. I don't know. I just made up that word, interlock. Information network. I don't know where the hell I got that from. It came from my brain. They have their own distributed ledger technology. It's going to be Ripple, JP Morgan, Bank of America is going to use Ripple. That's going to be a dominant force. JP Morgan and Ripple, JP Morgan and Bank of America are two dominant banks in the world. Bank of America, don't let the name fool you. It's all over the world. Okay. So I just wanted to share this information with you guys. So they're letting us know the cyber attack is coming. It's all about the SWIFT system, the archaic banking system. They printed all this money to take the money to invest in the new system. As they get it set up, the cyber attack will be the black swan, and then we will come in our little sheep suits walking through the gate into the new system. Okay, so this was SWIFT sanctions on Russia, how cutting off banks applies pressure. Okay, so here's the SWIFT narrative in 2022. So we had 2018. 2020. This is going to be a longer video. I showed you an actual document, facts, figures, numbers, logic. Now let's listen to February 28th, 2022. The narrative is coming to life.
After Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said the West's sanctions on Russia were not enough to prevent further Russian attacks on his country, a powerful coalition representing some of the world's biggest democracies announced it would block some Russian banks from SWIFT. The move was part of a series of severe economic penalties, and it was seen as a significant step up in the West's efforts to punish Russia and its president Vladimir Putin for its military assault on Ukraine.
The European Union and its partners are working to cripple Putin's ability to finance his war machine.
So what is SWIFT, and what does this move mean for Russia and the rest of the world? SWIFT, which stands for the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication, is a global system that banks use to securely send and receive transfer requests. Similar to how phone networks facilitate calls, SWIFT facilitates the movement of money.
The infrastructure is what connects people together, right? To be able to talk to each other. And this is the same thing for banks. It's simply instead of ideas and love and messages like that you're sending on the phone, you're sending money.
SWIFT handles billions of financial messages each year. And while there are other systems designed to circumvent SWIFT and challenge the dominance of the dollar, SWIFT is by far the most commonly used system around the world. It connects more than 11,000 financial institutions in more than 200 countries and territories. Headquartered in Belgium, SWIFT is a member-owned cooperative. Iran and North Korea are cut off from it. So how could SWIFT sanctions impact Russia? By cutting off some Russian banks from the system, the sanctions significantly hinder the movement of money into and out of Russia. And that could lead to higher inflation and a weakening of the Russian ruble.
It's like you're putting a noose around the pipeline of money into and out of Russia.
Not only do the sanctions aim to cripple Moscow's ability to finance the Russian military, but they'll also affect every other aspect of the economy, trickling all the way down to the ability of businesses and households to move money outside of the country.
The leverage is the leverage on the economy and the markets. That puts political pressure internally on Putin to reverse course.
But SWIFT is a global network, and experts say the sanctions could have an impact on countries around the world.
Okay, that's key right there. These sanctions could have an impact on countries around the world. They're building the narrative, warriors. They're building the narrative that we need a new monetary system.
Foreign banks have about 121 billion in assets owed to them by Russian-based entities. So cutting Russian banks off from SWIFT could make it hard to collect that money. And companies will undoubtedly face problems conducting trade with Russian counterparts, paying Russian staff, or buying goods from Russia. However, the West is planning for now to keep some Russian banks online for oil and gas exports critical to the European and global economies.
The willingness for the West, particularly Europe, to accept these economic sacrifices, which are not small, right? But what that reflects is the seriousness they take Russia's actions as a threat to, Western democracy, European democracy.
Okay, so let's talk about this. So think about what they just said. Okay, there's certain banks they're keeping online, or they want to keep online, or not give sanctions to, because they want to protect their oil, right? Our oil, our gas prices and stuff, which is great, right? That's our gas. But these are fucking innocent lives. I'm going to speak my piece right here. I want to give all the love. I don't believe what the news is saying, but there's people dying. This is crazy. Like, we're watching people die because of people's ego. And I won't mention these leaders of these countries. I'm not going to say their names, but their fucking egos. We're literally watching their egos play out, and innocent lives are being taken for their monetary gain. Let's just say what it is, okay? I don't give a shit about if they take my video down. It's just say what it is. But here's what you can do. So here's the narrative right now. U.S. banks prepare for cyber attacks after latest Russia sanctions wars. It's all about moving you to a new monetary system. I don't know how much I can explain that to you. I don't know how many times I can share that with you. I don't know how much I can put it in front of your face. But I'm not using this as scare tactics. Please look me in the eyes right now, warriors. I'm bringing this to you out of love, and letting you know that no human being can be controlled by another human being. That is a right that you have given to another human being, right? Each person, each leader is making a decision within their physical reality, and we are experiencing the ripple effect of that. The only way to reverse the ripple is to throw a fucking boulder in the pond. Now, what is that? It's doing the opposite of what they're doing. You don't go to war with another person. You go to war with yourself. And the things that you don't like in other people is the very thing that you should be working on in yourself. The very thing you're judging about someone else is the very thing you should be doing about yourself. If you're complaining about your finances, fucking do something about it. Stop spending money on Netflix. Stop spending money on eating out every single night. Get your shit together. Start fasting. Start cooking eat beans and rice for a month and start investing. There's so many things you can do right now to take responsibility and really set your family up for the future, warriors. So number one is you need a community. You need a community of right people. Your parents are right. You are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with. You will be the 6th of the 5 people you hang out with. Let me repeat that. You'll be the 6th of the 5 people you hang with. Number 2 is you need to change what you're seeing on a daily basis. Number 3 is you need to change what you're hearing. These are all vibrational frequencies. And number 4, you need to change the foods that you're eating. When I was in Peru for a week, eating off of the land, my body responded completely different than when I came back and ate healthy food here in America from a grocery store. My body bloated immediately. The exact same types of food, but my body, they are putting shit in our food, warriors. They are putting shit in our food, whatever you want to believe. I'm showing you from, I'm not telling you guys this from just being a creator influencer. And I'm sharing experiential things with you guys. I'm not saying that, oh, somebody's being nefarious. My body looks different. In Peru, I had abs. I come here, I eat normal, healthy food. I'm bloated. It's wild, warriors. So that tells you there's something not in alignment, or there's something trying to make us not in alignment. So we can't connect our gut and we can't connect our brain, but you have the power. You have a choice, warriors. You can make a decision today to make this the greatest time in human history. Again, I have so much empathy and so much sympathy for all the people who are being hurt in Ukraine. And I'm so proud to see these people rising up as people to come against evil and in love. In love. I saw, I don't know if, the videos, who knows what's real, what's not, but I saw a group of Ukrainian people standing in front of a take and they just stood there as they were shooting. It was love vibration, and they put their guns, they brought their guns back, and it was because you can't beat love. You can't. You walk into a dark room and you hit the light, darkness is gone. In the presence of light, darkness cannot exist. Now, very important, very important. We just launched an NFT project that represents dark and light, and immediately people see the darkness because that's how we've been trained. You need darkness, though. You would have no idea what peace feels like if you didn't have war. You would have no idea what it feels like to be rich if you've never been poor. You'd have no idea what it feels like to be well if you've never been sick. So the contrast is necessary, and you're just seeing the playing out of our world awakening and trying to rebalance itself back to peace and prosperity. The powers to be are fighting to hold this power, and they're losing grip because we are awakening to the reality that we have the power and the tools to become some of the greatest, most loving, abundant human beings in the world. So you have a fucking choice, warriors. This is your choice. Your choice. And if you're here right now, you're a warrior. You're a warrior. I'm proud of you. So from me to you, I love you. You're me. I'm you. We came from the same place. That's why I just love God, which is love. There's no religion to me. If you're Mormon, Church of Latter-day Saints, my apologies. I learned that that's disrespectful to say it. Church of Latter-day Saints, Catholic, Jehovah's Witness. If you're a non-denominational Christian, if you don't believe in God, I still love you. You're just playing out God's consciousness in a different personality, and everybody gets their own personal reality, which is awesome. But you can't be in my personal reality if you're a low vibration piece of shit. I'm not going to hang out with you, but I'm still going to love you. Let's go. All right, warriors, I'm going to get off my soapbox. I'm fired up. I need to go to Peru more often. Appreciate you. Love you. As we always say, warriors, let's get your shit together. Let's go.